name is Naira Danila. I am from National Research University of Electronic Technology, Moscow, Russia. My report is Nanotechnologies as the bridge between artificial and natural. I'd like to provide the philosophical analysis of nanotechnologies from the position of constructivism theory. The conception of man as a constructor of the real world can be considered like the basis of nanotechnologies, being a method of getting a fundamental knowledge. Nanotechnologies turn into independent force influencing nature, society, and man. The active role of cognition is the most important aspect of the constructivism paradigm as the methodology of nanotechnologies. This approach supposes the activity of human mind in perception at all levels, as it becomes possible to manipulate not only by individual atoms and molecules, but to create models of animate nature. This opportunity opens unlimited perspectives for individual and collective creative work. Generality of nanotechnologies indicates on forming a separate discipline, philosophy of technology, that acquires an independent meaning. In contrast with the past technologies, new ones are able to lead to negative results due to accessible mechanisms of meta control at the nano level and absence of its properties reflection. Such specific features of nanotechnologies as the meta-control at atomic and molecular levels allow considering them rather independent and capable to be taken as the beginning of philosophical reflection, in which the traditional understanding of the technology doesn't reflect its problems. Does the meaning of technology change when emerging nanotechnologies? There is a reason to say, without exaggerating, the importance of nanotechnologies, that the changes connected with them are more significant than the previous ones. Being a result of penetration into principles of nature's vital activity, they provide a transforming influence on meaning of life, not only its form. Developing and introducing nanotechnologies leads to the appearance of a new social, cultural reality that brings up new ethic issues, being closely connected with the realization of possible projects, such as, for instance, complete description of thinking processes and perception of the reality by human brain, slowdown of aging processes, opportunity of human organism rejuvenation, development of brain-brain or brain-computer interfaces, creation of robots and other devices possessing at least partial individuality, and so on. Along with ethical problems originating from the realization of the above projects, the ethical principles that many people follow nowadays will be transformed. Development and penetration of nanotechnologies will provoke a cultural effect related to the intensification of some ethical values and the devaluation of the others. Neural interface accessibility on the basis of nanotechnologies leads to the unification of man and machine on the qualitatively new level. It can change the level of virtualization of human mind and social relations. Penetration of virtual technologies into human sensuality will create a situation of hybrid reality, which obliterates distinctions between man's virtual personality and his physical localization in body. However, the virtual world of social networks leads to egocentrism and man's preoccupation by himself and his thoughts, because the result of it can be the loss of relationships between man and the reality. That's why the conversation about change of the spatial conception concerning physical margin of interpersonal communication and identification can take place. This change will involve reconsideration of human presence in the communication environment, if it should be treated both real and virtual simultaneously. Such an approach means a completely new phenomenon of human existence. The margin mentioned exists rather clearly nowadays. Thus, social cultural perspectives of nanotechnologies development include appearing a new lifestyle, stemming a phenomenon of secularized eternity in public consciousness, stipulated by a significant increase of life expectancy, changing the meaning of human life in substantial way, as man will be able to feel himself like a creator of natural and social worlds. The constructive paradigm supposes the activity of human mind and perception at all levels, while rejecting the existence of non-structured sensor data, which are free from any classification. According to the position of nanotechnologies, the cognition process is accompanied by creative and constructive human activity, leading to the effects that can reveal themselves, for instance, in the modification of human sensitivity level by means of significant transformation of its physical capabilities. In turn, it can lead to non-reversible consequences. That's why the philosophical reflection of social and cultural results of nanotechnological development is becoming more and more topical. To prevent the global ecological catastrophe, there is a real necessity to bring out peculiarities of these technologies and to analyze their impact on the social reality. It's also very urgent to start searching a new approach to humanism, which is understood traditionally nowadays, to clarify transformations of social values and meaning of human life in the perspective of their development, to study new cultural stereotypes emerging now. On the basis of the above analysis, it becomes clear that nanotechnologies show themselves in three aspects: as technologies of practical activity, psychotechnologies, and social technologies. Nanotechnologies should be explored as a qualitatively new transdisciplinary and transtechnological sphere of man's creative and constructive activity. The approach of constructive realism is considered as the most adequate to the stage of science development and new relationships among the human civilization, nature, and space, which characterize the period of nanotechnologies' formation and progress. In the era of nanotechnologies, the mankind enters the epoch of synergetic evolution with itself. It's possible to suppose that multidisciplinary communities will start to perform a special part, and they will be united not by a narrow community of qualification directions, but the unity of research and constructive interests. As the press points out, nowadays, a deviation from the principle of labor differentiation will occur in such communities in favor of new norms and principles of creative scientific communication. Constructivism helps to establish subject's control over the reality perceived by him when eliminating any deviations or resentments from his preferable target condition. The model of the world cognized will contain only the aspects which are relevant to his purposes and actions. At the same time, subject doesn't take care of the model recognized, but thinks only about compensation of deviations moving on the way to the achievement of his target. It means the subject is able to adjust to changing circumstances. Any border between inner, that is taking place inside subject of cognition, and outer, that is its environment, is removed under the influence of nanotechnologies. This idea means the reality isn't just subject's construction. Nowadays, it is supposed that subject of rational and cognitive activities acts on the basis of theoretical schemes and models, methodological rules, empirical information, logic, norms of reasoning. They are used as a material to take a decision concerning a mode of action for the current problem. Such a choice from a number of alternatives and a range of possibilities is stipulated by subjects' constructive thinking and open for future revision. It's possible to conclude subject isn't a closed system, but supposes openness to the world. Therefore, a scientific model of the reality becomes a result of interaction of subject's activity with the reality. This result corresponds to the theory of constructive realism completely. In conclusion, it's necessary to point out that constructivism ideas and their classical understanding don't correspond to the current level of science and technology development. Constructive realism removes the opposition of constructivism and realism. Subject plays an active part in the cognition process. It constructs the cognition processing sensor data due to definite rules, standards, and models. The reality should be understood as multi-level and multi-layer under this approach. Different levels can be combined despite they possess some dependence on each other. They have got different ways of occurrence, therefore the existence of different worlds is under consideration. Each of these worlds is real and connected with other ones. So the material world isn't only micro, but macro world. There is a subjective world, being also the reality of some kind and having different nature in comparison with the material one. Thus, the normal cognition process is possible only when considering all these components. Thank you for your attention.